Welcome to Trinity Gaia Consciousness, where I, Sally, channel intuitive collective messages, downloads, and share both ancient wisdom teachings as well as my own personal experiences as a spiritual warrior along my own path. I actually received this download, a few days ago, and I knew that it wasn't quite ready yet, that there was more to come, that there was something going on with the perfect timing of everything, and I would know it when it was time because there would be like a synchronicity. And I found myself looking directly at it earlier today, and that was number 34, which in this particular reference was associated with Samhati, or the eighth limb in the Raja Yoga path to enlightenment. Now, yoga associated in this reference with number 1, manifesting, and 2, that duality into one, union. That's the title. Now, Samhati, or translated to absorption, is enlightenment, Christ-like consciousness. It's also a little intimidating with that title, so I'm going to break it down for you a little bit here because it's just far more natural. It kind of unravels organically as you go through this process. Now I'm going to speak to number 34 here because I just can't, I have to. So we're pretty familiar with number 33 being associated with mastery. Trinity, a mirroring. There can be a synchronicity in that. I've also seen 1133, 333. So today, those synchronicities have really been popping out. So there's a lot that is meant to be said here with a mirroring, a union in that. 34 is kind of rebellious because it's kind of like a freedom from this imposed limiting of having to stop at 33. It's like if you go within and you have that energetic connection with that source that you resonate with. I personally affectionately call this aspect my divine. And we're all unique. So each and every single one of us is going to have our own unique relationship with this energy, with this aspect of self. And 34 really represents that limitlessness of this connection, regardless of any projected limitations. Because someone could say, well, you can't go higher than 33. Yeah, according to you. According to you. According to this book, or according to that teaching, or according to so-and-so said. But this is your experience, the wisdom of your own experience, that you have resonated with to be true. And it's not disregarding the wisdom and ancient teachings, but there is something to be said for that you have experienced, having power and validity. And a lot of these things are timeless. So something resonates as true for you. More often than not, that is something that has existed somewhere, and you can find reference to it. And maybe it's in like the Torah, or maybe it's in the Quran, maybe it's a part of shamanic teaching, maybe it's part of a Celtic tradition or Viking lore. Like it could be even part of like African bush shaman teachings. Like there's wisdom that is human, that's timeless. Now, to fully speak to Samadhi, I have to go to the seventh limb of the Raja Yoga path to enlightenment. And this is dhyana. I believe that's how it's pronounced, and it's translated to mean meditation. Now, this kind of meditation is to a whole different level in a way. It's meditation in motion. It's meditation in life, through life, moment to moment. It's a awareness that you bring that's of a meditative or prayer-like state. It's not just what we're used to is, meditation is, it's a guided meditation. So you schedule in that 10, 15 minutes where you're uninterrupted. It's peaceful, it's quiet, and you can have that. And there is so much value in that. This dhyana is being in a constant state of tapped in, of flow, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. You are challenging yourself to be as fully present in that moment. All of you fully present. And that means that divine spark within you. So with the title that I have for this channel, that's the Trinity that I'm speaking to. The masculine, feminine dynamics, the receptive, assertive dynamics that exist within each of us, and then that divinity, that spark, that maybe like the Holy Ghost kind of energy, that piece of us that is in all of us, that connects us to everything. So you bring that aspect to you in your experience, whether you're doing the dishes or you're driving or you're having a conversation with an acquaintance or a friend or a family member, and you're fully present. They have your undivided attention. And people, they'll start to let you know that there's something different about you. They may not be able to put it into words or to articulate it, but when you're in this state of being, it's almost like the divine is able to reach them more, is more present. That love is more tangible because you are in a closer relationship with that aspect of yourself. Now, they have a really good metaphor in this reference to kind of bring down this concept of samadhi or enlightenment or Christ-like consciousness, to anchor it more into something that's not so ephemeral and it's difficult to relate to, into something that you can kind of go, oh, okay, that would be something I could possibly at some point, I would know what that is like the moment it happened. And that's using the 4 states of consciousness. Now, most of us are experiencing the basic 3. Deep sleep. When you wake from a deep sleep, you don't remember your dreams, but you feel so rested. The second one is the dream state. Now, if you're someone who is a lucid dreamer, you're well aware of the different feel to the lucid dream. And then there's the waking state. Now, the fourth one is this samadhi state. It's called I'm going to try to pronounce this, Turiya. So it's Turiya. Now, the metaphor they used here is, so say you're having a nightmare or a bad dream and you wake up and you realize it was just a dream, and it was a delusion, an illusion, and you breathe a sigh of relief as you just kind of let that stress dissolve because it's not real. And you're so relieved that it's not real. That's similar to what this state is like, to be in samadhi. It's waking from the duality of the waking state, like it's a nightmare. Because duality causes, some friction and hurt feelings and, unwise choices. And, you get to see the conflict of this duality not being a positive experience or one that is used to heal, but it actually becomes something that can be very chaotic and harmful. So you're waking from this state, realizing that this too, the waking state, is also a delusion. And then you let that dissolve and you feel relief because you realize it's not really that. It's something that is projected, created, acted out. It's not actually the truth. It's something that is manifested by people in their waking state. By the choices that they make, the stories that they tell themselves about who they are and what they bring to every interaction, there is a contrast that they're aware of. And to some extent, this is what the other 6 paths or limbs of this yogic path really kind of dive a little deeper into. But I'm not going to dive deep into that right now. That would take some quality time. That can definitely be for something later. If you guys are interested in that, do let me know. I will be doing a channeled reading here. I'm just giving you guys the foundation so you understand the depth of this channeled reading. Now, samadhi occurs, this waking from the waking state occurs when you're ready. And that means it's not going to be shocking for you. It's not going to be like jumping into a frozen lake in the middle of the winter doing the polar plunge. It's not going to be shocking and jarring. And that's because you're going to be grounded. You're going to have that anchor. It's not going to be causing you to experience this inspired state of fear because you don't feel grounded. And that's where the Gaia aspect to the consciousness comes in. Because Trinity, like my divine Trinity, all of that is present even within this beautiful planet and the Mother Nature. And there's an anchoring in that. There's a love in that environment that anchors us in the now. Because you are in union, a state of yoga. You become your anchor. So no matter what chaos may be going on around you, through this process, you have learned and healed yourself through seeking to know self. And that piece becomes your anchor because no matter what's challenging you, you're fully present in your awareness of the I amness. The being self-aware is that connection, is that divine spark. Now, these chaotic things that could be happening, it could be grief, it could be frustration, it could be, a surprise bill, it could be, all these things that can inspire us to feel things, but come the end of the day, we know who we are. And we know that we will always be there for ourselves. We'll always have our back. We know what we feel is right and what we feel is wrong. And we know, having gone through this process, all these facets to ourselves, so that we can spot that is not us pretty quickly and see it for what it is. It's a challenge. It's chaos. And we can move with that challenge, that chaos, and it not move us. We move with or we move it. It doesn't move us. Because that core is not capable of being altered or changed. we know who we are despite what's going on. So at this point now, I'm going to move more into the channeled aspect. So before I do this, I'm going to bring in some sound resonance here for us, just to really set that intention. And this will be to the resonance of the note G at 384. And it's poignant, actually, that I open with that here at this point. Now, this collective that this download, this channeling is for, you have like a triple archetype that you're working with that is spiritual healer, warrior, and teacher. You're this Trinity, because in order to fight another day, you have to be able to heal yourself. In order to heal yourself, you have to learn what you need to do in order to do that. And in that process, you teach yourself how to be a better warrior and a better healer, in that you can keep yourself going and going and going. You are someone who is, you're going to teach, you're going to lead, you're going to show, you're going to demonstrate by example, by doing. You're not going to necessarily need to preach it. But if you're called to be at a podium and speak, you're going to do the best that you can to deliver it in such a fashion that you feel is going to do justice to your authentic truth, because your story, your path, the culmination of your life has power. You are at a place in your here and now where you recognize your desire to reaffirm, heal, authentically and genuinely own that deep soul instinctual awareness of connection with your own personal unique relationship with Source, or as I affectionately call, my divine. This is a love without limit and beyond our current ability to fully conceptualize, let alone articulate, and truly encapsulate or do it justice. As you reflect back on your journey in this blessed life, all the triumphs and challenges, each moment saw you through this moment in time to now, you become aware that even though you felt so alone at times, you were always walking with that self-awareness, that I amness. And there you know the capital S self was also present in your experience. That capital D, divine, capital G, God, was also present in every heartbeat and breath and the space in between each. You were the self, aware of the capital self. Every step was a co-creation for you to fully realize how not only are you a unique facet of the divine, but you yourself are multifaceted. Every challenge and choice to triumph, to choose love, was bringing more of your facets into your awareness of self. So it becomes a chicken and egg scenario, continuing on infinitely. Remember, limitless. Quantum physics is only scratching the surface. You are here and now, and you have awakened from the waking state, from this dualistic nature. You are the masterpiece, the symphony, the painting, the sculpture. Honoring this flow state of co-creation, of non-duality, is to sit as lowercase self, seeking capital S self. that inner wisdom, that voice without sound, resonating within all of you, present fully with you. To revel in the rightness, echo through all of your being, just as a tuning fork confirms the chord of the harp when plucked is in perfect resonant harmonic note of G. Elevation beyond dualistic to non-dualistic. At this vantage point, looking at every step up to now, you know why all of your moments were as they were. You can speak your truth, and the truth of your words is unmistakably authentic. You are that spiritual warrior that chose to heal what you saw others expect you to never get back up from, let alone dust your shoulders off and keep going. Because of this, you as a teacher, your story says, if I can, there's hope. One cannot kill hope. Hope is powerful because hope shines fully only in extremes. Hope sometimes is the only thing you have. For the next generation to carry that torch you passed them and carry it even further. Hope is powerful because it's primal. It's humble. It stands apart defiantly in spite of incredible adversity. It is humbling in this because hope is the ultimate defiance of oppression. Hope buried alive. Not only does it never die, it thrives, it inspires, it lives on. There's a reason why they're very careful, and it can apply throughout time. I would say, like probably the most famous character that has been a martyr would be Jesus. Hope is incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. You are here, and no matter what happens, you have made waves, you have made ripples that have affected other people, however remotely you could possibly think of. You maybe have never met some of the people who have somehow benefited from you being you, because you affected someone that then affected them, that interacted with them. So your legacy cannot be contained. It's you were here. And there's so much more to come with this, as I can sense there's going to be quite a bit more to build with this. But being that spiritual warrior, healer, and teacher who knows what that is, to live that adversity, to have that deep empathy because you could see yourself in these situations that you observe others in. When you speak your truth, it resonates because you've lived it. You've lived it. You have lived it by observing it, experiencing it yourself, witnessing it, feeling it. So when you speak from experience, and you give hope to people who have not necessarily had that example in their own life of, well, so and so in my life, man, they had it worse than me, and look where they are. I mean, if I just keep going, things will get better eventually. You can become that person because you're humble. That's where hope is born. Adversity and humble as a result. Sometimes it's all you had was, this is unacceptable. I'm going to keep going. I hope for a better tomorrow. If I keep going, it'll get better. If I, get knocked down, I'll get back up. I may take a moment and just catch my breath, but I'm going to get back up. Be that Energizer bunny that just keeps going and going and going. The divine, the love within me, sees and honors the divine, the love within you. Namaste.